so when I was in college in San Antonio, at SAC, San Antonio College, I was walking from the auditorium through this causeway-like thing back to the student union building to get some fries and a Coke with my buddy, and I would see the same guy sitting under this big oak tree on the lawn there, and all these girls with long straight hair, like folkies.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
This was
the Chrissy Shrimpton look.
This was before
ironed hair.
Yes, yeah.
I got it.
Yeah, it was even before Chrissy Shrimpton, I think,
Okay,
you know,
right.
really. But it was, yeah, the real plain West Village. It was that kind of look.
Joni Mitchell,
yeah,
too.
Joni,
Yeah.
the folkies.
Right.
You know, so I said every day I pass her, that guy's out there singing songs and so forth, and these girls are all sitting around the ground cross-legged, you know. I said, who is that? They said, oh, it's Mike Nesmith. He's a guy from Dallas. And he's going, you know, he's enrolled here. And he said, so anyways, yeah, he's got a folk act and everything. And so he and his buddy John Keeney, who changed his name to John London, played upright bass, and they kind of knocked off the Smothers Brothers. Keeney played the dumb guy, and Mike did was straight, you know, feeding the line. So
Right.
Mike played guitar and
Sticking straight.
sticking straight, yeah. And they were funny and sang songs and some originals and some, you know, and they could have played the Hungry Hour or someplace. They were that kind of, or the Village Gate or something, you know.
Or the Astro.
And well, they came out here and they did that. They played the Astro, they played the Troubadour, they even went to Searchlight, Nevada. And I said, you're going to Searchlight? There's nothing there. You should have seen it in '64, you know. So
It's barely a wide spot.
I know. It literally was a Searchlight
Yeah.
there. And at one casino. And I said, oh my gosh, you're going to Searchlight. So, yeah, just the two of you. Said, no, we're adding a drummer. So they had three pieces, you know, and they went and played Searchlight. But that was Mike Nesmith. So anyway.
So he's sitting out there
Underneath a tree with these girls.
entertaining the girls.
Mm-hmm.
And so how did you go?
So
up to
I
him
went
and say,
out, I said, listen, I went over and stood over the side and listened to him one day and so forth. And then
Can I have some of your?
so your babes.
I play guitar too.
Can I have some of your plain babes? Vanilla.
So this is before First National Band, though, right?
Oh God, yeah,
way
yeah,
before.
that was before he came to California.
But was he doing country stuff, or was he doing
folk
stuff
folk,
primarily?
Folk primarily, you know. Then there was a club in town, a folk club, and I went to see him a few times, and we became friends. And then his girlfriend Phyllis, you know, they'd hang out. And hi Phyllis, how are you? So I got to know him and so forth, and so we became friends, you know, acquaintances, and then I moved to California in January of '64, and then I moved out of Ray about April. I was in Panorama City with Ray and his wife, and so I moved to the Sycamore Riviera, right behind Grauman's Chinese Theater, right before you get to. It was right by that motel on Franklin that Janice passed and everybody died.
Chateau Marmont.
No, that's not where they were. They were at this funky motel in Franklin.
Okay.
Yeah, Chateau Marmont's on
That's
Sunset.
another one. Yeah.
That's Sunset.
That was Belushi.
Yeah, this is where I forgot who all passed away there, but there was quite a few. Janice being one. But anyway, so I get this phone. So then I went back on tour. Peterson and I went to Florida, and I met my first wife, Judith. She was a Playboy bunny, and she was attending the University of Miami and teaching at a parochial school, and then also working 3 nights a week at the Playboy Club.
Perfect.
On Biscayne Boulevard.
Yep.
So I went there one night and met all her girlfriends. So when I'm coming back to California, she says, I think that my friend Shelby and I ought to come with you guys, come back there. So Judy and Shelby and Ray and I drove all the way from Miami all the way, nonstop. We only stopped once and rested about 4 hours in Denton, Texas, you know, actually laid down and showered and ate, and then got back in the car and drove nonstop. It's 24 hours from Dallas to here. You cannot go
Yep.
exactly. You know.
Well, it's actually 24 hours from Houston to El Paso. That's in a 3-day. I've driven this from Miami to LA.
Yeah.
The first day is Miami to like Mobile. the second day is Mobile to El Paso, and the third day is El Paso to LA.
Yeah.
But it's the second day is all Texas.
Yeah. That's where the poem comes from. The sun is rose and the sun is set, and here we are in Texas yet. That's from the 30s. You know, it's with the Dust Bowl people.
That sounds like something right out of a Bob Wills song.
It's older than that.
Yeah.
Hey, Woody
Older
Guthrie,
than dirt.
Yeah, older than dirt. So anyway, I knew Mike Nesmith, and so my phone rang. So Judy said, I had a little old studio apartment, and by that time my roommate at 24 had a heart attack because he had gone to a country convention in Nashville with Roger Miller, and for just one weekend came back and had a major heart attack. So
Roger was a hard dude to keep up with, apparently.
No kidding. So poor Jerry Naylor's in the hospital. So I'm in the studio apartment by myself, and we come back and all the lights are shut off because it seems no one paid the light bill while I was gone to Florida. So Judy and I lit some candles. Anyway, she said we need a bigger apartment. So that's how a woman, you needed more space, you know. You don't know what it took to get her down to this condo I'm living in. No, not her. This is my second wife.
I understand.
So, but anyway, so Mike calls me and he says, Phyllis and I are married, and she's pregnant, and we're driving out to California. We're leaving Dallas in the morning, and so is it okay we stay here at your place till we find a place? I said, sure, no problem. So anyway, I wait for them. I wait, and they called. And they called and late one morning said, okay, we're leaving Phoenix. We spent the night in Phoenix. We're leaving there. We'll see you in a few hours. I said, no, you won't. It's 300 and some miles, you know. It sucks. And he was in an MG. It's going to take you 6 hours, you know.
Across the desert in an MG.
And they did, and the top was down on it because his guitars stuck up, and they had stuff tied to the fenders and that back rack and everything like the Grapes of Wrath.
Yeah.
You know, because you couldn't get it in an MG. The two of them and her like this.
It's like Buzz and Todd with their Corvette in Route 66 with the gear on the back.
That's right, on the back, but he also had it on the front fenders and stuff sticking up in that space between the seats and where the convertible top stuff.
Have a rocking chair set up in the back like the Beverly Hills.
Yeah. But anyway, so that sun, this was June, you know, and they're driving across the desert, you know, like that. Well, they arrived, and we took one look at them. They were both burnt so bad, man. Their forearms, the face, and her, and of course she was getting a fever, so forth. So they just wanted to sleep on the couch, and I said, you guys take the bedroom. So Judy and I slept out on the couch in the living room and gave them. They stayed a couple.
And she was how pregnant? How
very.
Very.
Yeah, like 8 months, you know.
Christian, you'll love this story.
So then they found a place over in North Hollywood.
Yeah.
And then Christian was born when they lived there in that little apartment, and he was doing hoot night at Troubadour, and they playing the Ash Grove, and he got a deal with Screen Gems as a writer, and with
publishing deal,
and with Frankie Lane, the singer, had a publishing company. He worked for him for a good while, and he released under the name Michael Blessing.
Yes, right.
Yeah. So I've known him for a long time. To answer your question, yeah.
So when the Monkees actually happened, when he hooked up to do that TV show, how did you find out about that, and what did you do with the Monkees after
I knew
that?
about it because there was ads in the paper and stuff, and people said, you ought to go audition for this show. And I said, I can't. I'm signed. Dick Clark Productions owned me. I couldn't go out and do anything, without their permission. They could have sold me, or loaned me out, like the old
for
studio.
a draft pick to be named later.
Yes. So anyway, I knew about it, and then when he got it, I was really happy. Now I knew Davey already, and the show was built around him, really. You know, he'd come off of Broadway and so forth, and so
Yeah, he was the only legitimate actor aside from Dolan's in his
Dolan's
Circus
was,
Boy
yeah,
TV
yeah,
show.
yeah, he was a good actor and grew up in an acting family. But I was doing the demos for Boyce and Hart.
Right.
So I cut the original demo for Stepping Stone. That's my lick. They said, you know, we need a lick here like a Stones lick. You know, so this could be the last time it just come out. And so we need like a Stones lick, and that was a hit at the time. So I went da 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 da, and that was I'm not your stepping stone. So that's how the demo went. And so
Nice.
the Raiders cut it first, and then the Monkees cut it.
Right, exactly.
And,
yeah.
So I had also played on the demo of Oh Baby Come On, Let Me Take You Where the Act. That's me on guitar, Joe Osborne on bass, Jerry Rubin
Joe Osborne on bass.
on bass,
Wow.
Don Randy and Tommy on piano. Don Randy couldn't quite understand. Tommy talked in parables. He couldn't talk music. He talked in word pictures. And he said, no, I need it to go right. And so he went over and played it in his, like he played like he had two grapefruits in his hand, you know. That's how he played piano. But Randy said, well, why don't you just play it and I'll do it. Okay. You know, so they were, and they laid a chain across we got in this little studio down on Vine Street, the demo. And then I sang, oh baby, come on, let me take you, and I'd sing the background. It was on a 2-track. We cut that, and so then they pitched it to Warner Brothers for Freddie Cannon. They said, you know, it's going to be the title song of this new television show. We want Freddie Cannon to sing it. I'm imitating Tommy Boyce. Yeah. That's the way he talked. Freddie Cannon's going to sing it, and it'll be great. You'll love it. And so anyway, so Warner Brothers said, we'll go for it. But they said, under one condition, we want that track, that demo track, and they transferred that to a multi-track machine, added the horns, added Freddie Cannon, and the woos, and that is what you heard, which was a top 5 record. And so I got paid $10 as a demo for cutting that thing, and when I first heard it on the radio, Freddie Cannon's version, I went, wait a minute, that's us playing, because the drummer makes a mistake in it. He plays through a break.
Yes,
you know,
yes.
There's a whoom, 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 because he got confused, turned around, and so forth, and it's in there. You know, so when anybody copied it, they always played it because they thought that's the way it went.
Yeah,
we
wrote it that way, actually.
yeah, right. So anyway, so I went back. I said, I want to be paid union scale for that. You know, it should be unionized. Don't worry about it. There'll be more dates in the future. It's best not to mention it, Tommy says. So I made $10 and the thing sold millions.
Right.
You know? So that's
insane.
that story for the
insane.
Exodus. So yeah, so that was my connection with the Monkees was, and then I started playing on I played on some of their records.
Which ones?
I don't know all of them. You know, I didn't play on Clarksville, and I didn't play on I'm a Believer, and a little bit me, a little bit you, because that was all done with the New York people and so forth.
Did you play on Head or any of the weird kind of experimental stuff that they were doing?
I played on Broken Circle. And
yeah. I'm sorry.
I played on several things on Head.
And Jack Nicholson was hanging around during the filming of that.
Oh yeah,
Do you remember?
Yeah.
Remember any of that?
Well, the first thing, I was in the studio at RCA with the Monkees, and Davey and his road manager there, and Mickey and so forth, and we're sitting around, we're cutting something, and I don't remember what, you know, and I'd been in there. I'd noticed this guy the day before. There was a guy in there wearing a white shirt and a tie, and slacks and so forth, and I leaned over. I said, "Who is that guy?" He said, "He was here yesterday," and so he looked like a banker. and it's funny you should say that. He works at a bank. Yeah, he works at. It was Harry Nilsson, and he was pitching, and he got whatever Davey cut the first song he cut of Harry's that he got cut. It was a ballad, you know.
It wasn't Without You, but
I can't remember, but it was he was pitching on his lunch hour from the bank.
nice.
He came to RCA and he knew the Monkees were cutting, and he came in there and pitched. And I guess, who is that guy? You know. And then he got a deal at RCA and cut Nielsen, aerial ballet.
Aerial ballet,
And then
Nilsson Schmilson,
yeah,
and Little Schmilson in the night.
And my press agent, or the Raiders press agent, Derek Taylor, took it to England with him and gave it to John and got all this feedback, and Nielsen's career took off.
Derek Taylor. I did not know you had a Derek Taylor connection.
Yeah.
That's got to be another
Derek Taylor
5-hour interview.
He left the Beatles, you know, and then he...
Came over here and he was doing the Beach Boys. And,
the first acts he signed...
The Birds.
Was Dick Clark Productions contacted him, said, we got this new kid on this television show, we need a press agent, would you send it? And so the Beatles were here on their second tour of America in '65 in August, and they were staying in a house up in Benedict Canyon.
Right.
And I went over to the thing, and I got in the car and I went up to the house, and as I was coming through the front gate, I saw Derek coming in, and this was on a Saturday maybe, and he said, he looked across the front lawn at me, and he said, Keith Allison. I said, Derek Taylor. He said, I'll see you